Hello everyone and welcome to Simply Code's YouTube channel. Kaushal this side and I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are going to discuss the remaining selectors in jQuery. In the last video we covered three different types of selectors: the ID, class name and element name selectors. So let's go through some more types of selectors today in this video. Before we begin, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss any updates on programming videos. So without any further delay, let's get started. Let me tell you guys what selectors are in jQuery again to revise what we have done till now. Selectors allow us to manipulate or access HTML elements as a group or single element in jQuery based on their name, ID, classes, types, attributes, values, and much more. In simple words, jQuery provides us the flexibility to access any element in different ways. The previous three selectors are easy to understand, and I hope you guys must have gotten the idea of how they actually work in jQuery. If you haven't watched the previous video on jQuery selectors, I recommend you to go through it as we'll be using the same code we have used for those three selectors. So let's start with our first selector of the day. Over here, you can see we have the code from the previous video wherein we created two different boxes and made some style changes using jQuery selectors and actions. If you see here, we have used jQuery for selectors and we are performing certain actions, right? So if we click on this click me button, you can see the font style changes to italic for both paragraph 1 and paragraph 3. So what we'll do now is we'll add another box here with different content. Like let's say we are adding a list of items or something. So for that, we'll go to a HTML file and we'll write here. After this div tag, we'll create another div tag. So inside this particular div tag, what we are going to do is we are going to provide the ID as, let's say, div3 to this particular div tag. Fine. Now inside here, what we'll do is we'll use the unordered list and then we'll use list element. Fine. So here what we'll do is we'll write item 1 and we'll copy this piece of code and paste it again for 5 times. So let's change the item name to item 2, 3, 4 and 5. Save it and you can see here we have a list of items on our web page. So let's style this div tag as well to look almost the same as the other two containers. So what we'll do is we'll move to our CSS file. We'll copy this piece of code for div1 and we are going to paste it here. Fine. So what we are doing is we are basically using the same code. We are styling the element the same way we did for previous two div tags. Fine. Save it now. And here you can see we have three boxes over here. We have three containers over here. The first two containers contain 4 paragraphs and the last container contains a list of items. Now we are done with both HTML and CSS parts. So let's move on to the jQuery part now. Now let's suppose we want to make changes in the first two containers only or in any two containers. Let's say we want to change the background color of the first container and the third container to green. And we have used the same class for the first and second container. Let's do one thing. We'll move to HTML file and you can see over here we have the first div tag with class as div with 2 V's and then we have another div tag with the same class. So the third one does not have any class for that, right? So in that case, we can't use the element name to do so because if we use the element name for making changes, then those changes will be visible in all the three containers. We can use the class name, but we have used the same class for div1 and div2, so it's impossible. What we can do here is we can use the ID attribute because we have unique IDs for both the div tags for div1 and div3. Now jQuery allows us to make the same changes in one or more elements using the ID attribute only. So the task is simple. What we have to do is we have to go to a JavaScript file or jQuery file we can say. We'll comment this statement for now and we'll write here dollar and inside brackets we'll pass the ID attribute. So we'll write here div1 comma div2 and we have to put here the hash symbol because it represents the ID of any element. So we'll write here .css and inside this we'll write background color and the background color is going to be green. Fine. That's it guys. What we have to do is we have to separate the IDs with a comma, and we can make changes to several elements at the same time. Save it and click on the button over the browser. So what we'll do is we'll reduce the size a little bit so that both the containers are visible. So you can see the first and the third containers have same colors over here. So let me first change the color of the third container. We'll go here and we'll change the color to, let's say, gray. Fine, save it. And you can see all these three containers has different colors. So what we'll do is we'll save this piece of code and we'll click on this click me button. And you can see the containers with ID 1 and ID 2, the color is changed to green. So what if we want to do the same thing for the third container and the first container? So if we write here div 3 instead of div 2, save it now, click on the button, and you can see the color is changing for both the containers. So it's working totally fine. Not only that, but instead of using multiple IDs, we can also use different attributes at the same time. Like we can use the class name and the element name here as well. So let's say if we write here, let's comment this piece of code as well, and we'll write here in the next line $. Let's suppose we are writing here div1. So this is the ID for the first container. So we are using the hash symbol. So remember it is a ID, and right here we are writing li. So li is the tag name and we are using tag name over here. So what we'll do is we'll write here CSS and then we'll change the background color. And the background color is going to be, let's say, purple. Fine. So we are done with it. Save it and click on the click me button. You can see the color of both the elements changed at the same time. This is one of the reasons to choose jQuery. It provides us the ease to work on multiple attributes at the same time. The color of the first container and the color of the list elements changed simultaneously here. So we can also make changes to the particular element present inside a specific div tag. For example, let's say we have two more paragraphs outside the div tag. So let's add them first, and what we'll do is we'll move to our HTML file. We'll copy this piece of code from here and we'll paste it here after the h1 tag. Fine, now what we'll do is we'll change the paragraphs. So let's say the paragraph 1 says this is paragraph 1 outside div tags. Fine, we'll do the same here as well. We'll write here outside div tags. Save it now, and you can see over here we have two paragraphs over here. What we'll do is we'll remove this second container from here. So let's do it and save it now. We'll remove the styling as well for the second container. Save it. Now we have only two containers over here and we have a click me button. Fine. Now what we want is we want to make some changes to the paragraphs present inside the first and the second containers. We can't use the element name because it will make changes in all the paragraph elements. So what we can do here is we can write here. We'll move to our JavaScript file and we'll write here $, and inside this we'll write div greater than sign and we'll write here p. Now we are going to use here fade toggle. So what we did here is we asked jQuery to make changes to the paragraph elements present inside the div tags. We have also used the fade toggle action here to make it more clear to you guys. The syntax is simple. We have to pass the parent element with a greater than sign and then the element name in which we want to make changes. So let's see if this statement is working or not. Save it, move to the browser, click on this click me button, and you can see the paragraph is completely hidden. Right? You guys don't worry about the actions for now because we'll cover them in the upcoming videos. Although they are not complicated, but still if you are thinking about them, then don't worry, we are here to help you with that. This statement can also work without the greater than sign, just like it does in the CSS properties. So let's see if it works or not after removing this greater than sign. Save it now. You can see the paragraphs are here and we want to fade them out on button click. So click on this click me button and you can see it's working totally fine. And if we click on this click me button again, you can see the paragraphs are here. Next up, what if we want to access the first paragraph only? Now we are talking about this particular paragraph. So what if we want to access it? We can't use any of the selectors we have been through till now. It does not have any ID or class, and we can't use the element name because that will make changes in all the paragraph elements. For that, what we have to do is we have to write here dollar, and after it we'll write p colon first. Fine. Then we'll write here fade toggle, and we'll call this function. So we are done with it. This statement will access the first paragraph element from the whole HTML document. Save it, click on the button, and you can see on clicking the button the paragraph 1 is completely hidden. Click on the button again and the paragraph is here again. But will it work the same way if we write second in place of first? Like if we only want to access the second paragraph, not the first one. So let's try doing it, and it will be easy for you to understand. So we'll write here second. Now what we want is we want to access this particular paragraph. Save the program, move to browser, click on this click me button, and you can see it's not working. You can go through the inspect elements and you'll find an error over here. So if we go to console, you can see it says unsupported pseudo second. So it does not supports this. So we can do it for the first element present in the HTML file only. So we'll write here first again, save it now, and you can see it's working now. We can do the same thing with the class name, ID, or the element name. What else we can do here is we can make changes in the odd and even elements as well. So let's suppose we want to hide the list item present at odd numbers. For that, we have to write a simple code. So what we'll do is we'll comment this as well, because if you want to check it later, you can check it from here. That's why we are commenting all the statements. So what we'll do here is we'll write here li, and we'll write here after colon even. Fine. Then we'll write here fade toggle, save it, click on the button over here, and the list elements present at 0, 2 and 4 are gone because even numbers start from 0. That's why the item 1, 3 and 5 are gone, and the item 2 and 4 are present at odd places. Now we can do the same thing for odd elements as well. So for that we have to write here odd in place of even. Save it now, click on the click me button, and you can see the items 2 and 4 are gone now. Of course they'll reappear on the screen if we click on the button again. That's because of the fade toggle method we have used. We'll cover them in future videos. So guys, with this we have come to an end of this jQuery selectors video. We haven't covered all the selectors present in jQuery because the number of selectors present is quite large in jQuery. So we have covered all the important ones here in this video. The task for you guys is to go through the selectors, and if you have any doubts then feel free to reach us and we'll help you. So that's all for this video guys. See you in the next one where we will go through jQuery events. If you liked this video then do give it a thumbs up. If you have any doubts, do let us know in the comments below. Share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe Simply Code. Thank you.